guys, my name is Matt Hagan. I drive a fuel funny car for Tony Stewart, and this is American Athlete. There's still always that opportunity for something to go really wrong, but I think that's also why we do it. You hit that loud pedal, you don't know what's gonna happen, but that's also what gets you up for it. I didn't know anything about drag racing growing up as a kid. I had a family guy that worked at my dad's dealership, and he was like, you gotta come drag racing with me. He had a 69 Dart, and basically that thing stood up on its bumper when you pull second gear. It was crazy. At 13 years old, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I actually own the car now. He passed away, and I bought it off of his wife a long time ago, but it's one of those deals where it got me hooked right away. It gives me chill bumps talking about it, you know what I mean? Just cause it was just like, this thing is so cool. Ooh, first year as a pro, man, like some very, very humbling lessons, right? Like you think, I'm this kid, I'm gonna make a name for myself, I'm out here, and these fuel cars, they humble you very, very fast. I remember the first time I messed up and it was my fault and I burnt the car to the ground. It's so hot. Your mind says, I don't care how fast I'm going, where I'm at on the racetrack, and what's going on. You have all the safety gear in the world on, but once your sweat starts bubbling on your body and starts getting those steam burns and your legs are blistering and your hands are blistering and your mind says, out. And you start like panicking and you start taking in smoke and you start breathing too much, and all these things that you're going through, you have to go through. No one can tell you about it, you know, to make it better, but it made me a better driver, because that's one of the first times I ever thought in my life I was gonna die. I don't think too many people in their mind have had situations that they really go like, this is it, you know, and being in one of these cars early on in my career, I had that situation and I did it to myself because there's a pump in the car and basically do a burnout with halfway on, and then you have to pull the pumps all the way on. So I'm learning to drive the car, just all the cadences and different things that you do. I didn't pull the pumps on. Car went out there, it was very lean. When it was lean like that, it basically stuck the piston, broke the rod, pushed the rod out of the pan, 8 rods out, big fire, big oil, big everything, and huge lesson learned for me, you know what I mean? And expensive lesson, you know, it's back when I owned my own team. So everything that was out there was on my dime. All the wild things that has to go right to win a championship. Let's just talk about winning a race first. You're obviously asking the parts and pieces to do things that they were probably originally not designed for, right? You know, and then these crew chiefs and mechanics get a hold of them and they say, well, we can do this with the valve train and this angle and these things run 340 miles an hour, and it's just unbelievable. So you can do it all right. I can get in there and drive my ass off and these guys can make all the right calls, but at the end of the day, you're still dependent upon the parts and pieces to do their job. And you know, there's so many variables and so many different ways to lose and only one way to win. I've won 55 races and 4 championships and run it up a bunch of times. It's incredible, man. Like, I mean, some days you feel like you gotta go buy a lottery ticket. Other days I feel like I can't tie my shoes right. You just never know what you're gonna get. And there's a lot of psychology along with it too, dealing with pressure, rising to the occasion. I've read a lot of books, sports psychology books, and I used to work with a guy that had me out here playing pretend catch one time. He's like, no, go throw a fake baseball to me out in front of all my peers. And I was like, I don't want to do that, bro. Like, we're not doing that, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, man, he's like, you gotta put yourself in uncomfortable situations to grow, right? Your body has to adapt, your mind has to grow. You have to do different things out of your comfort zone to grow. And that's what we do out here every day. That being said, to win a race is incredible, you know, and there's a lot of guys out here and a lot of girls that are still trying to win their first race. And once you do that, it's like these stepping stones, you know, win round 1, win round 2, get 4 rounds in, win that race. It builds on itself, right? And I would think the same for the championship side of things. You know, I'm trying to win the 5th championship. That'll put me in a group with just me and John Force and Funny Car in the history of the sport. I've done everything and accomplished everything out here I've ever dreamed of. I'm a 4-time champion. We won 55 races, set so many world records, and I've been able to keep my guys together in a crew that, like, for 15 years, it's unheard of. But that's why we're so successful, is because of the group of people that I'm around. I'd love to sit there and tell you, like, oh, it's me and I'm a great driver and all that. I am so blessed, so blessed that the group of guys that we have been with me for so long. It's truly about them. They show up early, they leave late, they work hard, they're very motivated, they're very driven. They're this unbelievable group of guys, and it shows on our accolades of what we've been able to accomplish over the years together, but truly one of those things where it all happens because of them.